Once again, welcome to my class. In my last class, I explained polarization of a conductor. It is nothing but what is the effect of electric field on dielectric. In addition to that, I explained capacitance and a capacitor. What is a capacitance of a conductor and what is capacitor? So these two things I explained briefly in the last class itself. So we'll recall what is capacitance of a conductor, not a capacitor. Capacitance of a conductor is the charge given to the conductor to rise its potential. So for that we have a mathematical expression, that is C is equal to Q by V. So this mathematical expression gives capacitance of a conductor. Following, also explain briefly about what is capacitor. There are two statements regarding this capacitor. It is a device used to store energy, or it is a system of two conductors used to store electric energy or energy. In the place of conductors, we may also use plates, which means it is a system of two plates used to store electric energy. So these two statements even in the last class also are given. And do you remember this diagram? Even in the last class I explained regarding this diagram. Also we discussed how can we find out the potential difference between the two conductors of the capacitor. So look at this. This is the equation which gives the potential difference between the conductors. Look at this. These two are two conductors, two identical conductors. I shall give a name as A and as well as B. The conductor A is positively charged, conductor B is negatively charged. Certainly there is a potential, since it is a positive charge, plus VA, potential at the conductor A. Since it is negatively charged, potential is minus VB. Minus VB is nothing but potential at the conductor B. Then certainly there is a potential difference between these two conductors, that is given by V is equal to VA plus VB. And one question will rise: for a capacitor, is it necessary to have two identical conductors? Can we use different conductors? For example, one conductor, I'll take a rectangular metal plate in the shape of rectangle. One more conductor I will take in the form of triangle. Even these two conductors constitute a capacitor, providing the charges or the magnitude of charge on these two conductors have same. In addition to that, the nature of the charges different. For example, the magnitude of the charge in this conductor is 3 microcoulomb plus 3 microcoulomb. Then what will be the magnitude of The charge on this conductor minus 3 microcoulomb. So it is not necessary to have identical conductor to constitute a capacitor. Now, how to charge a capacitor? Let's see. So I'll consider two rectangular metal plates. Two rectangular metal plates. Initially, charge on these two rectangular metal plates is 0. So across these two metal plates, I'll connect a battery. This is a symbol of battery. This is positive terminal, this is negative terminal. In the place of battery, also I can use a cell. If I use only one unit like this, it is said to be cell. Suppose if I used more than one unit like this, then it is said to be a battery. Now across these two metal conductor, across that I connected a battery. So what will happen? Initially the charge on these two metal plates is 0. So this metal plate is connected to positive terminal of the battery, whereas this metal plate is connected to negative terminal of the battery. Since it is connected to positive terminal, what will happen? The negative charges start moving towards the positive terminal of the battery. So one thing you have to remember, positive charges never moves through the metallic wire. Only negative charges like electron can able to move through the metallic wire. So this metal plate acquires positive charge by losing electrons. So it is positively charged now. By losing electron, this metal plate acquire positive charge, which means it gets positively. It means it's positively charged. This electron will move like this, and they'll reach this metal plate, and this metal plate gets negatively charged. So this is negatively charged and this metal plate is positively charged. So by using this procedure, we can able to charge a capacitor. Now, if the potential difference between these two polarity, for example 6 volt means the potential difference between these two metal plates certainly 6 volt. Then what is the capacitance of a capacitor? So one thing you have to remember, this is capacitance of a conductor, what I explained in the last class. Now what do you mean by capacitance of a capacitor? Capacitor is a system of two conductor. So this is what I explained in the last class, that is for single conductor. Now I am talking about what is the capacitance of a capacitor. Let's see now. Capacitance of a capacitor. Capacitance of a capacitor is indicated by C, and it is defined as the ratio of charge on either plate to the potential difference between the plates. As I told just now, in the place of conductors we may also use plates. So look at the statement for capacitance of a capacitor. Capacitance of a capacitor, that is C, is defined as the ratio of charge on either plate. So we have two plates. For example, here 2 microcoulomb plus 2 microcoulomb. Here it is minus 2 microcoulomb. Since both are equal in magnitude, charge on either plate you can take to the potential difference between the plates. What is the potential difference between the plates or between the conductor of a capacitor will gives the capacitance of a capacitor. What is the mathematical expression then? C is equal to charge on either plate. Usually you'll write Q in terms of magnitude divided by potential difference between the plate is V. Potential difference is V. So V. So this is the mathematical expression for capacitance of a capacitor. Look at these two equations. Mathematically they are same, but in statement wise or definition wise quite different. In case of capacitance of a conductor, it is the charge given to the conductor to rise its potential, not a potential difference. In case of capacitance of a capacitor, it is defined as the ratio of charge on either plate. Why it is either plate? We have two plates. To the potential difference between the plates, not potential rise. If it is single conductor, we used charge given to the conductor to rise its potential, but here a little bit changes. Here it is potential difference between the conductor or a plates. So this is one thing which is to be remembered. Then following, suppose if I remove this battery after charging these two conductors or after charging these two plates, what will happen? Like this. Look at this diagram. Two metal plates kept parallelly. Already they are charged. One plate is positively charged, another plate is negatively charged. So after charging a capacitor, what we did, we removed a battery. So this is 2 microcoulomb for example, minus 2 microcoulomb. So this is completely open path now, open path. After charging a capacitor, if you remove the battery, what will happen? Does these two charges get cancelled or get vanished? What will happen? Let's see. If it is closed, if there is no open path, what will happen? This electron gets attracted towards the positive charges and they get neutralized. Since it is an open path, electron unable to move towards the positive charges. then what will happen? Suppose if these two plates placed very close to each other, as close as possible, very close to each other, like this. One plate is having positive charge, one plate having negative charge, as close as possible. Since here we have unlike charges, they may attract. Once they attract each other, what will happen? They get neutralized. But one thing you have to remember, in between these two plates of a conductor, these two plates of a capacitor, there is a medium, air medium. So air medium is considered as insulating medium. So this insulating medium does not allow the charges to get neutralized. Suppose the insulation of air medium is not sufficient to avoid the neutralization, then what will happen? Certainly we can able to introduce some dielectric medium like paper or mica. Like this we can introduce. We can introduce mica or paper. If the insulation of air medium is not so sufficient, then we can able to introduce dielectrics like mica and paper. Then certainly these charges do not get neutralized. So this is the one thing you have to remember. Just now I explained what is a capacitor and capacitance of a capacitor, and what is the difference between capacitance of a conductor and capacitance of a capacitor. Next, we should discuss types of capacitance. Based on geometry, it's nothing but shape of a conductor, capacitor are classified into following types. Based on geometry of a conductors, is nothing but shape of a conductor, capacitor are classified into following types, which means on the basis of a shape of a conductor which we used in the capacitor, the capacitors are classified into following types. First one, parallel plate capacitor. Parallel plate capacitor. The name itself indicates parallel, which means the conductor or plate should be parallel to each other. Good. Parallel plate capacitor. Positively charged. This is negatively charged. In between, air medium. The next one, spherical capacitor. spherical capacitor. So I'll consider two sphere or metal sphere, one above the other. The outer surface of the inner metal sphere gets positively charged, whereas the inner surface of the outer metallic sphere gets negatively charged. In between there is a insulating medium, that is air. Third one, cylindrical capacitor. So I'll consider two cylindrical shaped metal. Okay. Look at here. The outer surface of the inner cylinder gets positively charged. The inner surface of the outer cylinder gets negatively charged. In between there is an insulating medium, that is air. So these are the types of capacitors based on their geometry of a conductor. In addition to that, on the basis of the dielectric used in the capacitor, further the capacitors are classified into gangue capacitor, ceramic capacitor, electrolytic capacitor, mica capacitor, etc. So this classification is on the basis of the dielectric used in the capacitor, whereas these three capacitors are on the base on shape of a conductor or geometry of a conductor. Just now I explained types of capacitors on the basis of the geometry of a conductors used in the capacitor. In addition to that, based on dielectrics used in a capacitor, what are the classification or types of capacitors we learnt. Now we shall derive one expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor, which is important in the examination point of view for 5 marks. Look at the heading. Expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Just now I explained the types of capacitor. There we had parallel plate capacitor, so I consider the same parallel plate capacitor. I consider two metal plates which is placed parallel to each other. Either you can keep like this or you can keep like this. I kept like this for our convenient. So I shall give the name as plate 1, plate 2. The plate 1 is positively charged. Plate 2 is negatively charged. So instead of using plates, also we can use conductors. So this is positively charged, negatively charged, and the distance between these two plates is taken as small letter d. Okay, and A is the area of each plate, Since these two metal plates having different charges, certainly there is a potential difference between the plates, that is V. V is the potential difference between the two metal plates. And in between these two metal plates, there is a uniform electric field directed from positive charge to negative charge, except at the corners of the metal plates. So I will write here E is uniform electric field between the plates. And what is D? Distance between the plates. What is V? Potential difference between the plates. What is A? Area of each plate, and plus Q and minus Q are the magnitude of the charges on the each plates. And one more thing here, sigma, plus sigma minus sigma. Sigma is surface charge density. So in between these two metal plates there is an insulating medium, that is air. Air medium is there initially. Now I need to find electric field at the top of the metal plate 1 at this point, say P, due to positive charge and due to negative charge. So what is the electric field? Electric field at the top of the metal plate 1 due to positive charge is E plus Q and directed away from the positive charge. We know the basic property of electric field lines. Similarly, at the top of the metal plate 1, what is the electric field at the point P due to the negative charge? That is E minus Q, which is directed towards the negative charge. Then what is the net electric field? What is the net electric field? Net electric field will be equal to 0, because these two electric fields are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. So net electric field at this point will be equal to 0. Similarly, if I consider a point here below the metal plate 2 or bottom of the metal plate 2, what will be the electric field at this point P due to positive charge? It is away, E plus Q, At this point, what is the electric field due to negative charge? Towards the negative charge, E minus Q. Then what is the net electric field? E net, again equal to 0. At the top of the metal plate 1, net electric field is 0 due to both the charges. Similarly, below the metal plate 2, net electric field is 0. Now we shall find electric field between these two plates, somewhere at any point, but between these two plates or metal plates, either here or here or here. So I will write now electric field between the plates of a capacitor is given by suppose if I choose a point here, say P, what is the electric field at the point P due to positive charge? In this direction, E plus Q, because in case of positive charge it is away, like this, it is away from the positive charge. At this point, what is the electric field due to negative charge? Towards the negative charge, so E minus Q. What is the net electric field at this point? Then E is equal to E plus Q plus E minus Q. Then E is equal to, what is the magnitude of electric field at the point P due to positive charge? Sigma is sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. This expression is already derived in the first chapter, applications of Gauss theorem, plus what is the electric field at the point P due to negative charge? It is also same, that is sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. I'll simplify this equation now. Then E is equal to 2 sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. 2 gets cancelled. Then what is the remaining thing? E is equal to sigma divided by epsilon naught. We shall mark it as equation number 1, where sigma is surface charge density and epsilon naught is absolute permittivity of free space. And we have one relation or expression between electric field and electric potential, that is E is equal to minus dV by dx, potential difference to the distance. Suppose if I use in terms of magnitude, E is equal to, so in the place of potential difference, according to this diagram, what I supposed to write? V divided by distance. What is the distance between these two metal plates according to this diagram? D. Equation number 2. On comparing equation 1 and 2, so we shall compare equation number 1 and 2. What you will get? V by D is equal to sigma divided by epsilon naught. Again I will simplify this equation for V. So V is equal to sigma D divided by epsilon naught, equation number 3. Simplification. And we know that what we know? Capacitance of a capacitor. So what is the mathematical expression? C is equal to Q by V. Correct, no? C is equal to Q by V. So here in the place of V, I can substitute this value. Correct, no? So C is equal to Q divided by, what is V? In the place of V, we can substitute sigma D divided by epsilon naught. Okay? Then C is equal to Q divided by sigma D divided by epsilon naught, which they know epsilon naught will come to numerator, so epsilon naught. And also we know that surface charge density, that is sigma is equal to Q by A. Sigma is equal to Q by A. So in the place of sigma, again I can write Q by A. C is equal to Q epsilon naught divided by Q by A into D. So Q get cancelled, A will come to the numerator. C is equal to A epsilon naught divided by D. Look at this. This is the expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor when air medium in between the two plates of a capacitor. In addition to that, suppose in the place of air medium, if I introduce some dielectric medium like mica or paper, what will be the expression? Then C is equal to A epsilon naught K divided by D, or also we can write C is equal to A epsilon naught epsilon R divided by D. So both are correct. Here K is equal to epsilon R is nothing but dielectric constant. Dielectric constant. So this is the expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor when we introduced some dielectric medium other than air medium. Now, how can we increase the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor? By looking at this equation, we can say C, that is capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor, increased by increasing area of each plate, directly proportional. If you increase the area of each plate of a capacitor, then capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor gets increased. First point. Next point, look at here, K. K is nothing but what? Dielectric medium. By introducing a medium of high dielectric constant, this point you have to make a note. By introducing a medium of high dielectric constant, we can also increase capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Second point. And third point, look at this. In the denominator, what we have? Distance between the two plates of a capacitor. By decreasing a distance between two plates of the capacitor, we can also increase a capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. 3 points. By increasing area of each plate, by introducing a medium of high dielectric constant, by decreasing distance between the plates, we can able to increase capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. In addition to that, look at one more point. By adding additional charge to the plates of the capacitor, we cannot increase a capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Why? Why means we have the relation, that is, I'll write here, for example, C is equal to Q by V. We know that V is directly proportional to Q. As Q increased, suppose Q is 2, then potential is 1. If you increase the Q as 4, then potential is 2. If you increase further, suppose it is 6, then it becomes 3. 3 ones are 3 twos are, 2 ones are 2 twos are, 1 twos are. So what you will get, capacitance remains same, which means simply by adding additional charge to the plates of a capacitor, we are unable to increase capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. So this is the expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor, which is important for 5 marks in the examination point of view. So today in this class, I explained what is capacitor, how to charge a capacitor, types of capacitor on the basis of geometry of a conductor and dielectric used in the capacitor, and finally we had an expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. In next class, we'll discuss how to store energy in a capacitor. Thank you.